Well, we are live, but you know what? I left this banner up there real quick because we have one team that's in the bottom of the basement. I don't know if he's ready to show his ugly face yet. That is Dan Connor of the New York Giants. My name is Paul Spencer. Next to me is Dan Connor. Next to Dan is Joe Sullivan. Steve, guys, what team are you representing tonight? I'll start with the bottom of the basement. Dan, I'll let you have another floor from the bottom of the basement.
The New York Football Giants, who are in the basement.
There you go. Thank you. Thank you. And you know what? The man on top of the division, who's that guy?
I'm representing the Philadelphia Eagles, the 8-1 Philadelphia Eagles.
And you know what? We have to have a middle team out there. So who's in the middle right now?
It's Washington Commanders, Steve Lockman from the Commanders Gridiron. And as I poke the first fun of the night, I think you need to change the opening banner and put Danny Dimes on a pair of crutches there.
Oh, that's what I was going to say. I was going to say, like, put him on a pair of crutches or like in a wheelchair.
Well, you know what, Dan? I will work on that today. Dan, I'm going to give you the option. I'm going to give you two things. You want Danny Dimes on crutches? I can definitely do that. Or
it should be DeVito, actually.
Do you want DeVito on the ground or upright? What do you want? Your choice.
Upright.
Okay, I'm gonna change that for you this week. I gotta believe in DeVito.
You guys remember Twins? Remember Twins where they said they said Arnold got everything, and they're like, and the rest of the pile of shit went to you. That's Danny DeVito. That's the Giants quarterback right now.
Yep, the pile of shit of the offensive line they have besides Thomas.
Damn. Oh, wow. First shot already pulled by Steve there. You know,
that's fair.
Danny Dimes on crutches. Oh, man.
I was thinking it when I saw it. I'm like, he should be on crutches or something.
Yeah, but that's what I need. I need to be like PTI or Around the Horn when I got that little buzzer on give people points because Stevie just got 10 points for that little one right there real quick. But, Joe, since you're sitting on top of the world, man, what's going on with the Philadelphia Eagles? I mean, last week, you know.
Tommy Mack says, what's going on, jabronis?
What's going on, jabronis?
Giant fan, fellow Giant fan.
There's more than one out there?
Yes.
Holy shit. I didn't know that. Wow.
All right, continue.
Well, Joe, what is going on with the Philadelphia Eagles, man? Last week, coming off a bye here, you guys got a big game going on, man. Rematch of the Super Bowl. How you feeling?
Yeah, man, I'll tell you, I'm pumped. I feel like the Eagles are going to put on a good showing. The only thing is, I mean, who the hell's going to cover Travis Kelce? I mean, you know, the Eagles can't stop them. The middle of the field, the Eagles can't stop. I mean, the only way I can see Travis Kelce not killing us is if he's distracted by thinking about what he's going to do to Taylor Swift after the game. You know what I mean? That's all. That's the only thing I could think of. You know, like Mickey says from Rocky, women weak in legs. Well, that's my strategy.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, Joe, we talk about it all the time. The slot receiver kills you, of course, and a tight ends kill you in the secondary too. You stop Kelce. Anybody else you're worried about? I mean, Miko Hardman, Watson out there, Skylar Moore. I'm sorry, no.
Honestly, that's the thing. You know, I'll tell you what's been hidden with the Chiefs keep winning, and one of the things that's one of the big differences with the Chiefs is, you know, everybody just assumes the Chiefs have this high-powered offense, but if you look this year, it's been Kansas City's defense. They're they made all those high draft picks in the secondary. Well, their defense is like top like 4 or 5 in the league, and all those young corners that they drafted are really paying dividends.
Yeah, I mean, real quick before I get into everybody else, I agree with you. The Chiefs, man, they're playing unsung football right now too. I mean, no weapons, of course. You lose a Tyreek Hill. You bring in, we bring Miko Hardman back there, who's in the doghouse last week after that punt return drop ball thing situation.
Yep.
But here's my thing: the Eagles have not put together a game yet all season. The Chiefs hasn't been a game all season. But to me, both teams are finding ways to win. 8-1 versus 7-2 here. They're finding ways to win.
Yep.
That to me is going to be one game that. But Joe, I want to ask: is there a revenge factor from last year? You think that Sirianni, Hurts, all these guys have circled this game in their locker room?
Oh God, yeah. They may. I mean, they may say they haven't, but let's keep it real. And also, it comes into where the bye was. Now, if they played, if there was no bye last week, all right. Just say hypothetically there was no bye, and this game was sandwiched in, say, between Dallas and like San Francisco next week. Maybe there's not as much of a revenge factor, but the fact that Eagles have Buffalo next week, which is another AFC game, and they're coming off a week off. Oh, these guys are pumped for this game. I mean, even some of the players have made comments, like not talking about revenge, but like Jordan Mailata made a comment on, basically saying like they're never going to forget that red and gold confetti falling on them last year.
Yeah. Dan, what do you think about that?
I think that, like, I kind of agree with Joe. I do also think that Casey's good coming off a bye, but that's definitely in the Eagles' mind last game, because it kind of slipped out of their hands, because if a couple things go the Eagles' way, they win the Super Bowl. So they're going to want to at least show they can play well versus them and beat them, but give them some more confidence, because who knows, it could be a matchup again. But I do think that they will definitely be motivated, but I also think Casey's good coming off the bye as well. I think it's going to be a really good football game. I told you who I picked so far, but I think the Eagles will definitely be motivated and have a little chip on their shoulder to play well versus them and beat them.
I agree. Before we go to Steve, I just want to mention one statistic: 27-4 off of a bye week. Insane numbers for Andy Reid.
Yeah.
Insane.
Can I give you an interesting stat that popped up today? Which, I mean, I'm not ready to make this comparison yet, because let's keep it real. The Eagles haven't actually won the Super Bowl, but this was very interesting. Through 42 starts in the regular season and postseason, Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni are 31-11. Brady and Belichick were 30-12. And the only reason I bring that up is because, and again, I'm not comparing, because New England was a 20-year dynasty. That's not where I'm going with this. But you know how you comment at the top of the show, saying how the Eagles are 8-1 and they really haven't played a complete game, or they really haven't been impressive. That reminds me kind of a lot of those New England years. Like, if you guys remember, New England didn't blow everybody out every year. They just found ways to keep winning. And you looked up at the end of the year, next thing you know, they had like 12, 13 wins, a 1 or 2 seed, and they were making another Super Bowl run. And that's kind of what this particular Eagles team reminds me of. Again, not comparing them to the dynasty, because we got to get 1 Super Bowl before we can get 6. You know what I mean?
Well, you're talking about the consistency that
you
want to see.
Yeah.
Now you just need to take advantage of having those opportunities with that consistency, because we all know your window is now for this team. Last year and looking forward to the next few seasons is really going to be your window, probably 2 or 3 or maybe more. So the consistency is what you like, and now they just need to get there again. Hopefully, for your guys' sake, they'll get it done next time.
No, not for their sake. Screw their team. Stop saying that, Dan.
Of course, I'm not rooting for them. Why would I?
Steve, let's go to you before we get to the comments. As soon as we get done with Steve here, Steve, what do you think about this game here, Kansas City and the Philadelphia Eagles here?
So I think you're going to see a pretty awesome game on prime time, right? And even though we all know that these guys are super professional, they say they take each game week by week. They don't really necessarily look, to a particular game in the season. Damn well, as Joe said, these guys, both sides, have this game circled on their calendar, just as much as interdivisional games and stuff like that. And I think, not only because of the quote unquote Super Bowl revenge factor, but I think the other reason that this game is going to be just big, just because of the 2 big juggernauts, that they are in the NFL. But you also have Kansas City coming off a pretty, let's call it horrendous loss, right, against Denver. So they're going to come out with a chip on their shoulder, something to prove, to kind of say that, hey, look, the Denver game was a fluke. That's not who we are. And unfortunately, they're next man up or next, game to kind of put themselves back on a winning track just happens to be the Philadelphia Eagles of all teams. It couldn't have been another AFC West team or something like that. They got to travel east and come to Philly, and I think you're going to see a pretty awesome game down to the fourth quarter.
I agree. 27-4 coming off a bye week is something serious with Andy Reid. He's eating cheeseburgers and going over that schematic 15-foot, the pre-scheme 15-play playbook already. He's already got it in his head, of course, eating the nuggies and the cheeseburgers. But let's get into some of the comments here real quick. Got quite a few comments here. TJ says, "Go Birds." What's up, peeps? What's going on, TJ? Also, TJ says, Travis can have his 100-yard game and score. have his 100 yards and just score. I agree. If you take away him, you got to let the other people beat you, of course. We have Eileen saying the most important news is Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift parents are going to meet at the Chiefs game. So we're definitely going to see a half and half jersey, correct? We're definitely going to see that one, right?
Jeez.
But how many times? Here's my question. As a betting person, I want to know your answer real quick before we go further. How many times do they pan in on Taylor Swift during this game? I'm going to say the over/under is definitely over. I'm going to go over 10. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I agree.
Over 15.
Wow.
I think if you set the line at 10, you'll definitely be good with an over. Absolutely.
That's insane. That is insane. Chris Papizzi saying, we'll go Birds. Chris, welcome
Chris.
to the show. I can't say go. I'll say go Birds. I got to read a comment anyway. So there you go.
Chiefs.
Yeah, go Chiefs. Well, I took the Eagles this week. Dan. Eagles have to score, especially in the red zone. Joe, answer that question because the Eagles haven't really scored in the red zone. How do you feel?
Yeah, that's concerning. I mean, especially against this Chiefs team because like you said, the Eagles at 8-1, they've had some red zone problems, and yet the defense, unlike last year, they give up a lot more touchdowns in the red zone. So it's really ironic that they are 8-1 in a lot of respects. They've just found ways to win. Yeah, I agree. You can't kick field goals against this Chiefs team, even though the Chiefs don't have the explosive offense that they've had. I still think Mahomes and Kelce could carve them up over the middle.
Yeah, going back to the Dallas Eagles game at the 6-yard line, 1st and goal, pushed just 2 sacks back to back, game over. The defense showed up in the red zone, find ways to win. Putting games together in the win column, regardless of how you do it. That's something that's serious with the Eagles. Taylor is a slag and her music sucks. There you go, Tommy Max says it. Hey, Robbie McGrath says Giants are on top, sort of. What are they on top of, Robbie? What are they on top of? The number 1 draft pick next year? Let me know because. Yeah, what are they on top of?
2 more games. I got a bad feeling, man. The Giants.
Hey, can I ask you a question, Dan?
Yeah.
Speaking of the Giants, right? Because based off of what he said about the draft pick, it popped up on my I guess it's X now, not Twitter. But one of the guys from FAN, Evan Roberts, was making an argument that there could be a perfect storm lining up if the Bills wind up tanking. Say the Bills season goes into the tank, right? So I have a question for you, and I don't even know if the Bills would do this, but say the Giants wind up with like the 2nd or 3rd pick. Would you take the young quarterback coming out, or would you offer a few first-round picks and bring Josh Allen to New York to work with Dable again?
Wow. That's definitely an interesting proposition.
But the question is, what do you have to give up? What do you have to give up for Josh Allen?
But they would have to give up a lot for Allen. And if you give up a lot, go ahead.
Well, what if it was, say you wound up with the 2nd pick, right? Which could be the quarterback from UNC, who a lot of people like, Drake May, right?
Yep.
So he could be a franchise quarterback. There's the dilemma, because if you're the Giants, do you go with the young kid banking on him being a franchise quarterback on a rookie deal, right? Or do you take the guy Josh Allen, who's already a high-priced guy and is like 5-6 years older?
I would say I'm going to draft the quarterback probably.
Okay,
if I'm 1, I'm going to take Caleb Williams or something. If I'm 2, I'm probably going to take Drake May.
Okay.
Who knows if someone that's 1st or 2nd, like say who's the 1st pick now, say they're not going to take a quarterback, whoever it might be, and they trade that pick. And I take the quarterback. I take the young quarterback, be it Williams or May, and I develop that quarterback from scratch, have a fresh start.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, if I were you, I would do that too, because then you get 4 or 5 years on the rookie deal. But just because, I mean, Allen was like an MVP candidate with Dable. And since Dable left, he hasn't.
Yep.
So it's kind of interesting. It's an interesting topic.
I think that Shane... the reason I say they can't do that, the Daniel Jones contract, but they're paying him next year. But I see them picking a quarterback if they're choosing and developing that quarterback. That's just like what they did with Allen. I see them kind of doing something like that similarly.
All right. Well, here's the question: if you go 2-3, let's go 2-3-4. You got a quarterback out there. Who do you take number 1? Caleb Williams, Michael Penix, Drake May. Who do you take number 1?
Probably Caleb Williams. But my question about Williams is, his fortitude, like his mental toughness.
He's not
He's
New
got
York
all
ready.
the skill in the world.
He's not New
Like,
York ready.
No.
Like he's got all the skill in the world. He's very skilled. But you never know what's going to happen. I think they may end up getting May and not have the actual first pick. But that's my question about Caleb Williams. But I'm going to trust Shane and Dable to take a quarterback if they're choosing. I have to do that.
Okay.
That's just, I think, what has to happen.
Mhm.
And now that DJ tore his ACL, I'm convinced that's what they're going to do.
Gotcha. I got you. All right, let's get to the comments here. Chris PC, what's up, Paul? What's up, Joe? What's going on? Thanks for checking in, Chris. TJ says the sting of a Super Bowl loss never goes away. Agreed. We're just going to go through all the comments real quick. Giants better lose all motivation in tanking the sweepstakes. No excuses at this point. Wow. I think you can count on the Giants to lose 12 or 13. Holy shit. Tommy
They
DeVito.
might win three or something. 4.
Get the highest pick and pray for MJH. Wow. Oh, man, boy. That's the only plan there should be in all capital letters. He's preaching. Yep. Steve, what do you think about the rumors that the hoodie is coming to Washington?
The hoodie. Who's referring to? What's that?
Yoda. Belichick.
Oh, yeah, that's not happening. On a couple fronts. So one, and I think probably the most pressing thing is Josh Harris and company are not the type to have one person controlling both GM and head coach.
Yeah,
that's probably number one. Which if Belichick goes anywhere else, like that's probably going to be high on his list, right?
Yep.
Kind of have the same setup that he had in New England as far as calling the shots and personnel moves and everything. And I think number two, and you kind of saw it with the analytics hire, 4 or 5 games into the season, the ownership group is going to want to get more offensive geared driven and not a defensive coach. It's kind of just my personal opinion, kind of the way I see things going. But, that kind of puts Belichick out. They don't want, kind of they say the old iron guard, like a Rex Ryan, the Rivera we had now, Belichick, like, hey, there's old guys. I think you almost need to go offensive based, whether that's EB, and there's a lot of discussion right now about if that is EB, or somebody else like a Ben Johnson or somebody else along those lines. But yeah, I don't see that coming. I know things can always happen and change, but even when that came out as a rumor, it got debunked pretty early on, in Ashburn, which was nice to see. But,
so let me ask you this real quick regarding that comment there. I want to flip it on you, Luke, and I'll get everybody's opinion on this. Wouldn't it make sense? Say if Belichick does come down there, you got a defensive guru on that side of the ball. You have Bieniemy. This could be just like the Kansas City thing where you got Belichick, one of the greatest coaches of all time, Andy Reid, same philosophy, same situation, both the best worlds here, correct? Game manager. Does it make sense to you guys at all? Joe, you're shaking your head. What do you think?
You know what? I'll be honest with you, man. But Bill Belichick, first off, you definitely wouldn't want Belichick the GM. He sucks as a GM, dude. I mean, his draft. If you look at his drafts the last 10 years, the only thing that's bailed him out has been Tom Brady. I mean, his drafts have been absolute garbage.
And who built that team?
What's that?
The early 2000s team. Who built that team? Belichick didn't build that team.
Wasn't that Parcells?
Parcells built that team.
Yeah,
when he was up in New England.
Those teams won the Super Bowl just with Belichick.
Yeah,
even though he did coach better back then.
Yeah, I still think Belichick's a really good coach, but I think he's lost his fastball and the Belichick the GM. It's funny if you guys still had Dan Snyder as the owner, then I'd be playing fantasy football. Then if I were you, I would be concerned about Belichick.
Yeah,
Josh Harris isn't going to do that.
Mm-hmm.
True. Mm-hmm. All right, I just want to throw it out there. Just what people would say. But Steve, the game is in actually KC this week.
Yep.
Let's see. You got TJ saying 7 shots of Tay. I'll take the under. TJ, I'll bet you a case of beer on that one, brother. That I'm taking the over +10 on that one. Easy. I think that's an easy win right there. We have keep the pick. We don't want Wyoming Josh Allen. How do you guys feel about Josh Allen? When I want to say something that the pro combine makes a quarterback. Their draft pick goes so far. Seeing Allen's arm, I mean, he reminds me of Jamarcus Russell, who could throw the ball from the goal line to the 70-yard pass by a flick of a wrist. what are we seeing from Josh Allen? What is the issue with him? Honestly, is it what is it? What is it? They fired the OC. They fired the OC. Joe saying head.
I think part of it is they're calling the offense differently, maybe. I also think that Josh Allen's taking too many risks. He's throwing too many risks. And I would like to go back and see what it was with Dable. How many times they were throwing the ball, like that type of thing, those analytics. But I think, I agree with that. I agree he would not be, but I think a lot of it had to do with Dable. And I think Dable called an offense perfect for Josh Allen, if that makes any sense.
Okay.
How he called games situationally, it seemed to work much better when he was there calling the plays than Dorsey.
Gotcha. Okay. Harrison is your second pick. Don't trade that away. Last comment before we get cut up. I think
real
Bill
quick on that last comment, Paul, about Harrison Jr. It's interesting. That got brought up here in the DC market over the last 24 hours. Guys were talking about, look, let's be honest. Washington's probably going to end up with a top 10 draft pick, maybe like around 9 to 11 or whatever. And there's been a lot of discussion, not that necessarily Harrison in particular, but even the name Bowers from Georgia, might be still on the board by like 7, 8, 9, like right around when Washington would be drafted. So there's a lot of guys on social media talking, do you take Bowers or Harrison Jr., as a Washington first pick? And like, I'm over here jumping up and down, but like, look, we don't need those positions. Look, I get it. One of the hardcore draft philosophies is you take the best player on the board when it comes to you, but when, and I feel Dan's probably in the same way, he can agree or disagree. We both need offensive line, that needs to be our first round highest draft choice is offensive lineman. I get it. I mean, if I was the GM and Bowers or Harrison Jr. was sitting in front of me on the draft board, and I know that look, both of those guys are going to have pretty good to stellar careers in the NFL, but I need somebody to protect my quarterback.
You're going to pass on a stud tackle or a tackle that falls or someone that could really make an immediate impact for you, or you're not. And
so
the Giants do need O-line, but I don't see them doing that.
So it'll be interesting to see how far down Harrison falls, because let's be honest, the shitty teams that are picking first, they don't need wide receivers. They need quarterbacks
really good,
and linemen.
But I think he could be there.
I think he does drop, honestly. I mean, I'm going to pitch one name to you, Steve. Joe Alt, Notre Dame, offensive tackle.
I'm telling you right now, if and Paul knows this, I'm not the big Notre Dame fan in the world, but if that lineman drops to us and at our pick,
you got to take
I'll take him all day long.
You got to take him.
Absolutely.
They put it this way: they say he's better than Mike McGlinchey. That's how good he is.
This is a good point by Tommy. Like, we've missed on wide receivers for years, but if I'm taking I'm taking a tackle or a possible franchise quarterback over Marvin Harrison Jr. if it's top 5 for us.
I mean, the thing is, you got to
quarterback.
The thing is, you got to fill your holes first before needs.
So we're talking some first round draft picks here, but I got to ask Dan and even the other guys your opinion, since you're divisional dudes. They're talking about impact players. Did you guys take Tony in the first round?
We took
Tony
in the first round and should not have. And there were a lot better other players there. And I thought it was an iffy pick at best.
Gotcha.
And
he's doing half decent to good for Kansas City. Now, I don't know if that's a system thing.
Yeah, but you have to realize where the Giants were at. What was their biggest need and what were they horrible at? Yeah, they needed a weapon, but that pick, the Evan Ingram pick, was a first-round pick. There are a couple picks like that set them back where they should have been drafting for need, not some gadget player.
Yep. Well, how about we get back to this game here? Let's talk about this Chiefs, Eagles game here. Joe, since it's your floor, what do you got on this game? I mean, what are your final predictions, and how do you see this game panning out?
Unfortunately, as motivated as the Eagles are, I see a 3-point Kansas City win.
Wow, what?
It's kind of what I'm thinking.
I got to call it like I see it. I mean, do I want to see that? No, but honestly, I think when push comes to shove, I don't trust our linebackers in coverage over the middle, and I'm not sold on how we're going to stop that. And Mahomes is Mahomes. I feel like they find a way to win. And Andy Reid off the bye, many reasons.
Yep.
So like a 27-24, 27-23, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dan, I know where you went on this. We talked about this on the NFL Pick'em show. Where are you on? You're with Joe here. You're taking the Eagles.
Like
I mean,
31-28. I think it'll be a little more high scoring than people think.
Wow.
But I'm thinking very similar. Very similar. It's going to be like a 3-point game. And I think Kansas City's going to pull it out in a close game because I don't see the Eagles not keeping it close.
Gee, well, Steve, where are you going?
I'm actually leaning like a 31-24 Kansas City. And I think the only reason that Kansas City can pull this off is their defense. Because they do have one of the top 5
defenses. The best it's been in years. It's better than when they won the Super Bowl.
But the other reason, and I honestly feel that it's going to come down in part kind of combination of their defense is if they can limit AJ Brown to like 100 yards or less, because that dude's been just prolific, 125, 150. I think Kansas City can pull it off. And, if they can limit AJ Brown even to 100 yards, because look, he's going to get his yards, he's going to get his catches. But it goes back to the point you brought up at the beginning of the show of, that Eagles red zone. If the Kansas City can take away the deep scoring options, from 20 to 20, and the Eagles kind of I don't want to say self-implode, but they kind of are what they are in the red zone, then, that's going to greatly help out Kansas City. And let's be honest, Patrick Mahomes just does Patrick Mahomes shit on a weekly basis.
Yep.
And,
I think they'll be motivated after they've had been a little rough for them as well on top of that.
Well, damn, you know what? I hate to say this, but damn, I might be the lone wolf this week because I'm taking the Eagles this week. I hate to say this shit. I really am. But you know what? Whatever you want to say, I'm going Eagles this week because this team is scary, man. I don't care what the record is, 8-1, whatever it may be. This team is finding ways to win, man. They find ways to win. I understand, Andy Reid is 27-4 coming off a bye week. It's in Kansas City. Both teams circled this game, but the Eagles have progressed over the Super Bowl, man. Weapon-wise, talent-wise, they've gotten better. I know Dallas stopped A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, regardless of the yardage, but they had too many weapons, man. I think this is the week where the Eagles come out. It's a proving point. We are the best in the NFL. This is the game that they actually do it. I really do. I think the Eagles win by – I'm going to say win by 4. 31-27 Eagles. I hate to say it. Damn, I can't believe I'm saying this shit.
Joey, go upstairs.
Better record that clip.
No, we're not recording anything, put it that way, okay? You got to keep it real. I think the Eagles win this game. I think they move to 9-1. I really do. I hate saying it. Joe's probably going to say you're playing that reverse psychology shit. So
you're trying to Jedi mindset.
Maybe, but hey, I got to come up some way because this 3-game lead on us isn't helping out. 2.5-game lead isn't helping us out. So I got to pull out all the tricks. I got to pull out Belichick, Yoda shit. You know what I mean? TJ says I don't trust our coverage the last minute of the game against Andy Reid. I want to say against Patrick Mahomes because that dude's a magician, man.
Man, he's unbelievable.
Matt Dugan is one of my great friends. I coached him at Wisconsin for many years. He's the only guy that I ever known that I called a play for. Wide open lane and fell at the 2-yard line, untouched. So Matt, I know you remember that, brother. I love you. I tried to get you in the end zone, but you let me down, brother. You let me down. Clear end zone run, wide open run, right up the middle. I'm like, he's gonna score. We see Matt go down at the 2-yard line. I was like, what the hell happened? He said, Coach, it was the high grass. They didn't cut it. Yep. TJ, you're the man, Paul. I have to keep it real. You know that. Don't fall for it, Joe. But you know what? Since we gave the game, we talked about the big game of the week here. Steve, how about we go to your game really quick here? Who do you guys have, Steve?
So we got the New York Giants for the second time this year.
Oh my goodness!
Yep.
And as I said on my show Tuesday night, Commanders Gridiron, that this game actually, even though they're on like their 4th quarterback so far this season, it's a game that scares me. Because the Giants just always bring their A game against us, whether it's at MetLife or FedEx.
Barkley usually does play well.
Yeah, Barkley usually has a good game. Let's be honest, our defense hasn't figured out where the tunnel to the field is at all this season. So like there's the potential for the Giants to come off of the 2-0 against us this year is pretty good. The only thing that obviously really helps me out is that, you are on your third quarterback in DeVito. And, I would like to think that the combination of EB and Howe is actually starting to mesh. Look, they're putting up points. I mean, they're averaging 26, 30 points a game.
It's way more than us.
In any given week in the NFL, that's more than enough points to win. It's just the fact that our defense gives up, 30 to 40 a week. So it'll be interesting.
Damn.
Wow.
No, he won't.
I disagree with that.
Holy shit. Wow.
Was you basing it off the Dallas game? I wouldn't do that.
The Giants defensively, if you look at the last 2-3 years, the Giants always match up good. They always get pressure on Washington. Their D line usually comes through against them.
Versus them, yeah, but I think the defense probably played its worst game last week. Bengals had its worst game last week.
Yeah, but that was against Dallas, though. I'm talking
exactly
about
Washington. But I do think Washington's a better football team than us.
Oh yeah,
I do think they're playing better than us as well. That's why I picked Washington to win. But if it's versus spread, I'm picking the Giants because it's 8.5.
Mm-hmm.
Steve, were you just getting attacked by an animal?
Yeah, the oldest golden doodle decided. Oh, now he wants to hide. Come here, Finn. Here, Finny.
But I do get what Steve is saying. The Giants typically, they always play well versus red. No matter how bad they've been, even when they were with Joe Judge, they seem to always play well versus Washington. So I wouldn't be surprised if they won the game.
All right, so how about we do some scores real quick? We'll keep it about 45 minutes here. Dan, you know what, Joe? How about you and I go first? Because this isn't our game. We could care less here. What do you think about this game here? What score way? Where are we going?
I like Washington. Let's see. See, the Giants can't score really. So I'm going to say Washington 23-10.
Wow, 23-10. Jeez, I'm going to write that one down. All right, you know what? Since who's home this week? Washington's home, right?
In D.C. Well, it's in FedEx. Yep.
Yeah,
all right, so Steve, I'll let you go since you got home court here. So Joe's going 23-10 Giants. Steve, what's your score?
Commanders 26-17.
23-16. Dan?
24-20.
Well, once again, I'm playing reverse psychology here. So I'm going Giants. Regardless of the record here, I think just like I told Dan on the NFL Pick'em show, I said, you can't go any worse than you are right now with DeVito. So
I agree with that.
It's everything on the table this week. It's either tank or play ball, and I don't see that happening in New York because New York is a place that'll eat you alive. So I can't see him going any worse. So I'm actually going to peel my upset of the week here. I'm going Giants. Minus 15, whatever the line may be now. What is it? 11 now, Dan? 8.5 now. Okay. I'm gonna go Giants out right here. I think they're going to win this game. So damn. Now TJ said 5 TDs. That's 35 points. So he's got 35 points and a field goal for the Commanders because he said 5 TDs, 400 yards, 38-16.
If their offensive line plays well, yeah.
Wow. So
it does.
While he might not get that many touchdowns, 400 yards is definitely not out of the question for Sam.
Yeah, I agree with that. Giants give up a lot of yards.
Even in our dismal performances of scoring, he's had 4 or 5 consecutive 300-yard games already.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it's 400 yards. I don't know how many
let's
points
be honest, the kid leads the league in the NFL in passing yards at almost 2,800 or something like that.
Right.
So he's racking up the yards. He's third in touchdowns with 17. And he's first in the NFL in pass attempts too.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's pretty good.
So, I mean, they're starting to put shit together. They made some moves on the offensive line that have definitely helped out over the last 3 weeks.
They're better than us.
So it'll be interesting to see what happens on Sunday afternoon.
All right, so we got a couple scores out there myself. Everybody's going with the Giants here. I'm sorry, the Commanders, of course. I do have one fellow foe out there who's an Eagles fan. Rich Joe says Giants 13-10. I think it's going to be a lot scoring more than that. I'm going to go. My score is 27-24. Giants here as well. So, oh man, I tell you, man, I don't know what I'm doing here, picking the damn wrong teams here. I have no idea.
Giants have been horrible, but I'm telling you, they seem to always play well versus Washington.
It's a division game, man. The Giants play the Washington Commanders tough. The Commanders play the Eagles tough, okay? The Cowboys play the Eagles tough. Everybody plays each other tough in this division. It's hard. You never know. You know what I mean? It's hard. Ken Fry checking in. Definitely check out Ken Fry tomorrow morning, Silver and Black Nation, 10 a.m. Talking all Las Vegas Raiders and Los Angeles Kings as well. Check him out. Ken says, "What's up, guys?" So let's get in the last comment. The Skins have definitely found their quarterback no matter what. Giants need to find theirs. Exactly.
No, they don't. We need to. I need Danny DeVito to get a couple wins so they can't get a quarterback.
Thank you, Joe.
Right?
Thank you.
They need an offensive line too to protect their quarterback so they don't get killed.
So, Joe, you figured out why I took the Giants, right? Now you figured it out, right?
Yeah, because I want no parts of them getting Caleb Williams or Drake May. Now, I know Caleb Williams kind of looks like he's softer than Sharman, but he's still got a lot of talent.
Dable, I think I trust Dable to develop him fine.
That's why I don't want you getting him because I think he could be really good. So I'm like, fuck that, man. Let somebody else get him.
Yep.
Okay, let me ask this before we move on. There's one comment I want to get to. We'll get into the next game here. We're going to the Cowboys and Panthers, but I want to ask you guys' opinion real quick. Dave, I call you Dave. I don't know why I called you Dave. Dan, I'll start with you first. It's your team I want to talk about really quick before we move on.
Yep.
What quarterback do you want if you have any choice of any quarterback? And tell me within 60 seconds why you want to take this guy and who you taking.
I'm going to say Caleb Williams.
Why?
Because of his skills, his skill set. His skill set is great. He's got tons of skills. He's got a great arm. But my question is his mental toughness and his football IQ. Secondly, I'd take May if he's not there. I think that's who they're going to end up getting is May. Okay. I don't think they're going to be one. I think there'll be two. But if I had to pick, I'd pick Williams right now.
Okay.
But I do like Drake May as well. And I also like Penix. But they're not going to take him.
Now I'm going to flip it to you, Joe, a little bit. What quarterback do you not want? Get two quarterbacks you do not want to see to go to the Giants here because for the future wise in our division.
Well, that's an easy one. I don't want them getting Caleb Williams or May. I mean, there's other good quarterbacks coming out, but they're not. I don't think they're quite at the level of those two kids. Although we do have to caution. I mean, a few years ago, Trevor Lawrence was supposed to be like the next Peyton Manning, and in my opinion, Trevor Lawrence is no better than maybe like the 15th or 16th best quarterback in the league. I mean, so sometimes we have to, sometimes these guys that are quote unquote can't miss, they're not quite as good in the pros as you think they're going to be.
Yeah, that comment that TJ made, I think May will be very good at for quarterback. I agree. I don't know about Williams based on his playing the big games. What I like about May is he's got more size. He's the prototypical size you want. He's got a cannon for an arm. I know he plays in North Carolina, but Hal played in North Carolina.
But the thing is
Hal's doing fine.
The thing is with Drake May, he's pro ready. He plays in a pro set offense.
He does.
Caleb Williams plays that run and gun West Coast, USC. I play offense. I don't play defense. I want to score. That's all I want to do. I like less.
May a lot.
Mm-hmm. Steve, what do you think? What quarterback do you not want to see the New York Giants going for the future here? Scares you?
I gotta say maybe like Penix or even a May, not necessarily a Williams. And my reason is the kind of more of the dual threat, not just a good passer, but also good with their legs.
Yeah.
Because in our division, when you have Jalen Hurts, who can definitely, play with his feet, and Dak will run when Dak needs to run. And let's be honest, the last two seasons when Danny Dimes has been healthy, he's basically been leading their team in rushing. So I think more of a dual threat mobile quarterback would be more dangerous to the division against the Giants than somebody that's gonna either shotgun or drop back from the pocket and just try to kill you passing the ball.
Both have a good skill set, but I do like May.
My thing is the person that I want him to get. I want to see him get a Michael Penix because Steve, I'll disagree with you. He does not.
I like Penix too.
He does, but Dan, I talked about with you this. He needs that pocket presence. When he rolls out the pocket, he's not the best.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But in the pocket, he's so awesome.
His
in the
blind side's the other side, so you better solidify that side if you're going to take Penix. Like if the Giants were going to say trade their pick, which I don't think they would do, and they knew Penix was going to fall, and they figured out something, I would take them. But I think they're going to stay where they're at, one or two.
The one that scares me is I hate to say this is Caleb Williams. I know he's mentally not ready for me because he's the diva quarterback. He's the diva out of the bunch for me. The New York market probably would kill him. It seems that way. Yes, it seems that way. But to me, he reminds me of a Danny Jones, more of an athletic Danny Jones, a better arm than Danny Jones.
Yep.
But the IQ level's not there. But my thing is this: with that RPO with Barkley and the weapons that they can build around, you don't have to go 5 stacked offensive linemen with him. He knows he can get out of the pocket. He
No,
can
you
run
don't.
with his legs. So that is pick him now, the best prototype quarterback coming out of the league since maybe a Jalen Hurts at that mobility type, that ability type. You
Yep.
get him now. You don't have to go offensive line right away. You can wait a year or go second round and take the offensive line. That's available, like Steve said. You know?
Yeah, they might go BPA for all I know, but I really think it's going to be. I really think it's going to be a quarterback. I think it's going to be May. I have a feeling that's who it's going to be.
Ken says, I don't understand questioning the Caleb Williams mental toughness. Is it because he cried when he saw his mom? No, there's more to it than that. What I see,
Situational football in the game.
My thing is
More so.
I've seen him this year. Going off topic here, he's thrown a helmet at the bench, yelling at a wide receiver for running the wrong route. Okay?
That type of stuff.
That stuff too. He's questioned his play calling, his bad calls where he doesn't take sacks. I mean, he takes sacks. He doesn't throw the ball away. He wants to be the alpha player. He doesn't think about winning the game. He's always in the thought of, when I go to the NFL, I want stock options. Don't demand that as a rookie coming in. Your play demands what you get. There comes a long way with getting the respect, gaining the respect, getting the respect to me.
Yeah,
That's
I'm not saying he wouldn't be good or nothing like that. He just probably needs to learn a little bit and just mature a bit, and that's all. That's really the only thing. It's not about him getting upset. It's, like I said, he's all skill of the world, but you never know when coming to the NFL. It takes the right situation and the right mentality to really get it done.
Ken says, if you want him to say he can't win big games or underperform against big teams, I agree. He's lost a lot of games because of his play. I want to put it that way. The Utah games back 2 years ago. Look at this year. He let Arizona back into the game. He let all these teams back into the game where he tries to make plays happen. You rely on your team to get you to the point. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. That's all. I'm not saying he wouldn't be good.
I agree. I mean, I want to see him success. I want to see any player come in there, of course, on that one. Now, before we get to the Cowboys game, this is something I want to ask you guys. I know you guys don't watch a lot of college football. Joe, I know you watch quite a few games as well as I do. Jaden Daniels from LSU, his numbers are mind-blowing right now. Better than Joe Burrow the year he won the Heisman Trophy.
I want to comment on that when you're done.
But just imagine, Dan, if you go and you get the third pick, you take Marvin Harrison Jr., Daniels might drop to that late first round. If you find a way to get back into the first round and take Daniels, then get your quarterback.
Yeah, I want to respond to that. I agree with that. I talked about Jaden Daniels, but the last part of his statement, the O-line fixes itself, and I want to know, does Tommy really think that could happen? Like, I was trying to say we have JMS, who's a rookie. I think he'll be better next year. He's shown some good stuff. We'll have Thomas, but Neal's looked a little better past 2 games, and is he going to be able to get a new O-line coach and be better next year? That could happen. They could be thinking that because they're not taking. They need a quarterback, and that's what I think they're going to do. But Tommy's proposition is not a bad one. I wouldn't be upset if they did that.
Okay.
I definitely would not be mad because I like Jaden Daniels. He's very talented and plays at a tough conference and plays really good.
This comment right here is mind-blowing. Caleb Williams could be another Dante Culpepper if he doesn't get focused.
Culpepper was pretty good for a few years. He had a nice 3, 4, 5 year run
with Randy Moss.
Yeah,
exactly.
He
had good years. Yeah. Sheldon Lewis checks in. He says the Giants will suck until December 32nd. I had to think about that one for a second. I'm like, wait a minute.
They're going to suck regardless. I'm not saying they're a good football team. I'm just looking for improvement from Neal if he gets back, from JMS, from Banks. I just want to see the guys develop and not have another quarterback get killed. Yeah.
True. As the league is soft, I can't yell at you, Greeny face. Oh, he's an Eagles fan there, of course. There we go.
The league is soft.
Hey,
I will agree.
League is soft. Just watch the last 2 Commanders games, okay?
Yeah, TJ says, yes, how many key turnovers did he have in big games?
That's true. No arguments.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
true. I mean, he had a great career though. I mean, honestly, you think about it.
Oh,
he had great
yeah.
event games, of course,
Statistically, yes.
But all right, we have one game left, real quick. We don't have to spend much time on this game because I think this is going to be Dan. This is your lock of the week, of course.
Yes.
Cowboys are going down to the Panthers here, and the Panthers are nothing with Bryce Young. They haven't done anything all season. Joe, how do you feel about this game?
I don't. The Panthers. I mean, Bryce Young to me hasn't really. I know he doesn't have a lot to work with, but he hasn't shown me really anything, to be quite honest with you. I mean, if I'm a Panthers fan, I'm extremely upset about that trade right now, especially considering they might have the Bears might have the number 1 pick and get a Caleb Williams or a May, and meanwhile you invested in Bryce Young, who looks like a little kid out there.
Yep. How much they give up to move up?
They gave up two first-round picks, DJ Moore, and I think another pick or two. I mean, they gave up a ton.
I think now the Bears sit at 2-5 this year, correct, for the draft already, because they got the first-round pick via the Panthers. So that or 2-4 right now, actually. So this isn't working out for the Panthers.
They should just kept those picks.
As bad. You know what's funny? As bad as things look for Chicago right now, if you think about it. If they wind up with the second and say like the 5th pick, they control the draft. And if they want to move on from Justin Fields, they can move on from Justin Fields and then trade him somewhere.
Yep.
Because he's been on the trade market for a while now, Justin Fields there. So why not? Maybe if a team needs somebody, you can get maybe a second or I would say maybe a second, maybe a 3rd or 4th rounder for him. You control the draft in the first round. Everything goes through you. You can pick a player, draft down.
I was going to say, I think you get a little more than that for Joe. I mean, there might be a team out there. I mean, look at how bad the situation's been in Chicago with the coaching and everything. There might be a team out there that looks at his athletic ability, and I don't know if they'll get a first rounder, but like you said, I mean, they could probably get 2 2s or something like that, or maybe a second and a conditional one based on playing time. Like I could see a team like maybe Minnesota, if with Kirk Cousins coming off a major, well, they're in division though. I don't know if they trade in division, but
yeah,
but I'm saying that type of scenario where a team out there wants to move on from a veteran and maybe takes a chance on Justin Fields.
Yeah, the Bears are in prime position to really have a solid draft with the picks they have, and for them, it was a smart move for them.
Oh, of course. Yeah. I mean, they pulled
Absolutely.
the Howie Roseman. They pulled the Howie Roseman book. They must have read Howie Roseman's book.
Robbed them at gunpoint.
Do you see a scenario where the Patriots would go after Justin Fields?
No.
And move on from Mac Jones?
No
way.
Well, Mac Jones. I think the Pats might draft a quarterback. The Mac Jones is. I read that the players, his teammates can't stand him. I mean, Mac Jones isn't long for that world out there in New England. They're going to do something.
Joe, I got to eat crow. I've known you for a long time, and when Mac Jones came out of Alabama, I said this kid's going to be real. I said this kid's going to be real. And look what happened.
I said, look where he played and who he played with.
What
Give him no talent, no offensive line.
Dan, you know what? I will agree with you to one point. And how I looked at this too, Mac Jones coming out of Alabama. Yes, he had Waddle. He had all these wide receivers, Devontae Smith. Everybody in the book he had, of course. We know that system. A quarterback-friendly system. You go to New England, I've been into it too much. I'll be the first to admit it. I've been into the Brady philosophy too much, the Brady mentality. And he can make anybody better. Is it the Belichick system? Is it the Josh Daniels system? Well, you know what? It was the Josh Daniels system and the Tom Brady system. Because Mac Jones, I don't care who you give him, but I mean, I know they haven't got anybody, of course, at all, but he sucks. He flat out sucks.
He looks worse. He looks bad in all situations.
Listen, I agree with you guys, but Paul, the only thing is, and we're in agreement, but how do you explain Mac Jones? How did he regress so bad? Because if you remember his rookie year, he actually played pretty well. They made the playoffs his rookie year.
Let's take Joe's statement even one step further. Last year, they took Mac Jones' regression because he had a special teams and a defensive coordinator calling his plays. This year, he has Bill O'Brien, and he's doing worse than what he did last year under Judge and Patricia.
Yeah, it's probably both.
So, where's the deficiency there?
Yeah, it's bad. It's bad. I could definitely see New England taking a top quarterback out there. I mean, you got 5 quarterbacks out there.
Maybe they take Jaden Daniels.
Before we go, I know we're talking about the Dallas here game, but let's talk GM real quick for the New England Patriots. If they're in the top 10, and what quarterback would fit the system under the Belichick system right now better? Penix, Bo Nix, Caleb Williams, Drake May. Who fits in the system under this right now with what they have?
I think Belichick's gone after this year.
Wow. I can't get used to that, though.
he is.
I can't get used to that.
It's time to move on. I think Pats fans agree. We know some Pat fans. I know some Pat fans. DJ does that. They want to move on entirely from him. His ship has sailed.
Okay, who comes in? Who takes over the New England Patriots?
I was reading. I don't know. I don't know if this is totally 100% accurate, but I was reading that they really, really like Jared Mayo, the former linebacker that they have up there.
Wow.
And there's a lot of NFL teams that think highly of him too. They think maybe he's kind of like a D'Amico. They think he's kind of like a D'Amico Ryans. You know, how D'Amico Ryans is doing well in Texas.
He's a coach, Ryans.
So if you're New England, you may not want to lose. Haha, yeah. If you're New England, you might not want to lose.
Oh
him,
man.
You know what I mean?
You want them to riot? You want Pats fans to riot? Oh my goodness, Ken!
Wow!
Oh, they would.
So I guess the biggest question for New England, and unfortunately, probably none of us can answer that question, is: does New England need to go 180 degrees away from Bill Belichick? And the only reason I say that is because of the it's kind of funny that Ken just threw that comment up there. Look, Josh McDaniels tried to do the Bill Belichick way in Vegas and failed miserably. Would Mayo be able to still have a decent to successful coaching tenure, even being under the Belichick umbrella, or do they just need to wipe the slate clean and
that's
he'd have to hire a good
I don't know what the answer to that is.
Well, his biggest hire, I mean, the biggest part of his success would be who he gets a quarterback, and then secondly, his most important hire would be whoever he hires as his OC. Because if you don't have a good have a good OC, he's going to go down in flames.
And QB coach.
Agree. Mm-hmm. All right, well, let's get back to this Cowboy game here. I think it's it unanimous. I think the Cowboys win this game, correct? There's not really much to talk about during this game, correct?
31-10. 35-10, something like that.
31-10.
They're going to blow them out.
Joe, what do you got?
Regardless.
Yeah, I say you know what? I'm gonna say 31 to 20. Even though I think the Panthers really stink, the Cowboys every once in a while, like the Cardinals game, they may kind of joke around and wind up giving up a couple big plays here. But I still think I don't think you're sweating it. Put it that way.
Wow. Okay, Steve.
So I think the Cowboys, unfortunately, are going to win. And it sucks to say this, but I think they're going to throw up another 40 spot.
Maybe.
It's probably going to be a 40-17, only because come Turkey Day, they sure as hell ain't getting 40 points on Turkey Day. So get it out of your system now, because come short week next holiday, gobble gobble, you're not getting 40 points. So
yeah. All right, TJ says 39-0. So no 40 burger there. Wow, damn, that's
which actually gives me
that's like the same 39-0, 49-17. It's tilled regardless.
Going back, Adam,
but they won't give up 49.
Adam says Bill Belichick, the GM, is what hurt him. I agree with that 100%.
Yeah.
I agree 100%.
I agree with that. He is not a general manager, and like I said before, he wasn't the one that built those teams that went on those runs. Parcells built those teams. He just benefited from that and had Tom Brady.
Sort of like the Barry Switzer of the Dallas Cowboys. Jimmy Johnson built the team. Anybody can come in and win a Super Bowl with that team that they had, of course. But let's see real quick. The first thing is the Patriots need is a GM.
Yep. No messing around this time.
Shelton says smoked turkey on Washington. See, Shelton's checking. He's a Dallas Cowboy fan. Good man there. Cowboys lose. Well, thank you, TJ. I sort of Shelton takes me up and you bring me down here.
Yep,
Cowboys lose on Turkey Day.
Yep, I agree.
I got this game 34-20. I think that Dallas is
20 points. You think they're going to score 20 points?
I really do.
No
Dallas is giving up. Hey, we gave you a charity point last week, so shut the hell up, okay?
We only scored 10.
We gave you charity points. We do that in the game. We feel sorry for Christmas is coming up, brother. Dallas has that thing called Salvation Army thing where Zeke jumped in. We want to get you in there too, so we're going to give you a charity point. Damn, come on, Dan.
was right, but I don't know about 20 points. But
Dallas knows what it's like to win. I mean, shit, they've been wanting the Super Bowl since VHS's tapes were around.
Hold on, let me look at my banner. Holy shit! I lost my mic. I got so goddamn.
He's probably got his VHS tape over there.
Yeah, I lost my mic for a second. I turned around. Joe just put me in a bad spot. 27 years and counting, brother. 27 years and counting, Joe.
I know, it's amazing.
I'm all for it.
I still think Santa Claus is real. I'm thinking I'm going to get a championship every year, man.
Yeah, we've
you know
won
what I mean?
twice in that time. The Eagles won a
You
Super
know what?
Bowl in
You
that
shut
time.
up.
Like,
You
holy
shut
crap.
up. Steve, when was the last time you won a Super Bowl?
You want the honest answer?
Yeah, I want the honest answer.
91, 92.
See, we're more
Not even
relevant
longer.
than you are. We're more relevant than you
So
are. So
both
you be
of
quiet,
y'all.
okay? You be quiet, Steve. We're more relevant than you. It's 96. Okay. You know, if anybody has bragging rights, it's Joe right now. Okay. At least he's in the decade.
Most
last
recent, yep.
Yeah, most recent.
Oh,
But-
man.
God, man.
Oh.
Thanks, man. Thanks. Yeah. We got Sean
Awesome.
checking in. Sean wrote the paragraph. What's up, guys? I saw this. Thoughts. Robert Griffin is still interested in going to Cleveland Browns following Deshaun Jackson season injuries. Wow. What do you guys think about
It's
that?
funny.
real quick?
It's funny he brings up the
Is he
Cleveland
serious
Browns.
about that, or is he joking?
Hey, I'll be honest with you. I watch college football. He's announced for college football. This dude 3 weeks ago ran from the 10-yard line to the 40-yard line. I'm talking blazing speed. But the arm is
What,
something different when you've been
RG3?
in the league that long.
Oh.
Yeah, he threw his name into the ring when Kirk Cousins went down.
How old is he?
When Aaron Rodgers went
RG3.
down.
I don't know. Let's see.
I don't know. I don't
Well,
know.
he can't be as old as we think because he was a
26?
first round. No, he's older
He
than
was
that.
drafted in 14.
He's
13,
33.
13 or
He's
14.
33 years old. 33 years old, guys.
It's better than DeVito, probably still.
Damn.
He hasn't
I
played
don't
now
know.
long.
I don't know, man. I don't think he could. I don't know.
I
Man.
doubt it.
No, I don't know.
If he had played like 2 years ago, I'd say maybe.
Thank you, TJ. I appreciate it. Adam says real quick, Dallas will have it in hand, and Carolina will get the backdoor cover. Okay. I just think Dallas plays down to lesser teams, honestly. We've seen that with Arizona coming off an emotional loss with the Eagles, then having a bye week. McCarthy isn't the smartest guy in the tool in the tool shed, brother. You know what I mean?
No, he's not. His
So,
clock management
there's a
sucks
difference.
too. So
There's a difference to me.
you never know. He has a tendency to do that sometimes.
Oh, Joe, it's coming at you. It took over 60 years to get to a bowl, brother.
At least they did.
Yeah, I know. Hey, but we did win NFL championship though.
They've been to 2 in like 5 years or something like that. Something like
Yeah.
You're
that.
right. I mean, I got to keep it real. My thing is,
17,
my motto is, "What
06.
have you done for me lately?" And the Cowboys haven't done shit. So, hey, that's just me. But DJ says, not counting strike seasons, not counting the strike seasons. Mm-hmm. Also, he's serious that he can't be with that CTE. Does he have CTE?
Who's that?
Griffin.
I don't
Oh
think
no,
so.
you got.
No, I think he's. I think he's just joking, saying it must be CTE.
Okay. Because I know he had that bad leg injury. I remember that leg flopping in the air when he got that knee pop.
Yeah, well, Watt ruined his whole career because he actually should have been shut down for the season. Like, oh, we'll just throw him in anyway.
Well, I just want to say one thing: blame the Commanders people over there because that's who ruined Robert Griffin's career.
Ridiculous. I think if he didn't get hurt, I think it would
And
have been
RG3
all right.
ruined his own career on top of that as well.
Oh, come on! You put him in. All right. So, anything else before we get out here? Steve, when are you going to be back on?
I will be back on Tuesday night at 6:30. Commanders Gridiron.
Any little sneak preview of what's going on there?
Actually, it's kind of interesting, but the Commanders just entered into another very unique business partnership. That kind of has ties to new stadium and new training complex. So it'll be interesting to see how that kind of develops between now and Tuesday.
Huh.
Okay, Joe, when are you going to be back on?
We'll be back Monday night with the Sully squad. My boy Sean Kilrain, who made the comment, he'll be on with me, along with my man Diego and Mike Fuji. We will be doing a Eagles Chiefs pregame show, and not quite sure if it's 100% yet, but we might be having a really good guest on. But I got to confirm with Fuji. But either way, stay tuned. But either way, we'll be kicking it and doing the Eagles pregame.
All right, and Basement Dan, where can they find you at?
Big Blue Power Hour on 11 a.m. on Sunday. Talk about the situation for guys and preview the Washington Commanders game.
All right, and myself, Paul Spencer, you can check me out tonight, 9:30 with Cowboy Dave, 215 boys, getting ready for the Carolina game this week. Also, let's get through the comments real quick. Adam says, does Carson Wentz play this week? Stafford's back. The question is Stafford's arm. His finger injury is not 100% yet. So I think if he's going to be on a short leash, but How do you think Wentz can do with this team? I mean, is he a Baker Mayfield to win a couple games? I don't know. Revitalize his career? What do you think?
No.
I agree.
Why the hell did the team like the New York Jets not give Wentz a chance though? Zach Wilson.
That's why I agree.
I mean, Zach Wilson's like, I mean, my God, what's weird? What's weird? Me and Diego were talking about this. He might be like the worst quarterback I've ever seen, as far as like some of the throws he makes, like barely anybody else can do. But he's so terrible. He's trash.
His football
terrible.
IQ is horrible. His anticipation's bad. Their offensive line is bad, but you just can't depend on him at all. Even when it's given to him, even when he has time to come back, he still can't get it. He can't get it done.
My thing, can he take, going from a Philadelphia market where it all happened in his head, going to a New York market? Do you think that would be the best thing for him?
No.
He's better than Zach Wilson, though. I'm
right about that.
I'm just saying, Wentz on his. I mean, you look at that Jets team with that defense. If they had anybody with Zach Wilson, they'd have 2 or 3 more wins.
They would be if they had someone like Wentz. I think he's far better at. They win the Raiders game. They win those close games with someone like Wentz. Even though, Wentz. They have a bad offensive line, but on that team, I think he could win more than with Wilson.
Zach Wilson is trash, man. He's like Danny DeVito level.
The play calling sucks too.
All right, I'm going to
air it out.
I'm going to leave 2 questions really quick. One question to you guys real quick. We're just going through the last comments here. TJ says, great show, man. Thank you. DJ, thank you for tuning in, of course. Shelton Lewis, great show, fellas. Stay safe. Thank you. Shelton, I need you on the 215 Boys shows tonight. Check into that, of course. Guys, I'm going to leave you with one question before we get out of here. If you had a choice of one quarterback, I'm only going to give you 3 options I'll give you, okay? Number 1, Robert Griffin III. Number 2, Tommy DeVito. Number 3, Zach Wilson. Those are your 3 choices. Where are you going?
RG3 healthy.
He's not healthy. I'm talking about sitting out the bench for 5 years, coming back to the NFL. Take your choice.
I still think RG3 is your better option right now off the bench. Taking off the headset, better than Zach Wilson or DeVito.
Wow. Joe?
Yeah, man. I mean, at least Zach Wilson. I mean, at least RG3, you could run some read options,
Until that knee buckles.
Well, as all, you know what though, RG3 for all, RG3 at least might not lose you the game. Zach Wilson always going to throw the big pick.
Yes, he is.
That's true.
DeVito,
that's true too.
I have no idea.
Damn, that's a hard question. I would probably go RG3. Yeah, I would probably go RG3 too. I mean, he has a good ball. He can get out of the pocket a little bit too. He can throw the ball. He's smart. He's been around, so I'd probably go RG3 as well. So.
But if it was a viable option, he wouldn't be like doing analysis. He'd be signed somewhere or playing somewhere on a practice squad.
Why don't you call down to ABC and get Tony Romo?
So the situation would be,
hey man, Matt Ryan and Fitzmagic are still out there.
Huh.
Fitzmagic, okay.
Hey, I thought the Giants could go out and trade for Dobbs.
That was stupid that they didn't do that.
Or go get Wentz too. I thought maybe. Does it matter?
I agree. Well, hey, let's get out of here, guys. We've been on an hour. My name is Paul Spencer. That is Danny. That is Joe. That is Steve. We'll be back next Thursday night to talk a little bit more shit, who wins, who doesn't. And I hope I got the mind tricked out there because I said go Eagles.
I can't.
Yeah, I mean. So until then, guys, we'll see you next week, Thursday night, 7 p.m., the NFC East War Room. Until then, take it easy, stay safe, and be blessed.
Bye, everybody.
Have a good night.